Ozarks, here today with Kyle.
Kyle.
And so I'm going to tell Kyle all the information he needs to know for Unit 3 of Level 1 in case he does the whole unit this week. So on the first page you can see page 30, we learn about time signatures officially. And so a time signature will always be found at the very beginning of the song, the very far left of the page. Two numbers stacked on top of each other, just like a fraction, but we don't put a line between the two numbers like you would with a fraction. And the first number tells us how many beats per measure, and the bottom number tells us which kind of note gets one beat. And so do you remember what a measure is? Because it's been a little while since we had that unit.
A measure?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of these, right? It's
right.
Got it has the amount of beats within it. Like this one's 4, for example. So it's 1, 1, then 2.
And so the bar lines divide the music into equal measures, which means each measure gets the same amount of beats. And so like you said, that first measure gets how many beats altogether?
It's 4.
And the next measure?
4.
And if you count all the way to the end, because there's a 4 on top, we know the equal measures means all the measures get 4 beats. Not 4 notes, 4 beats. So you could have one note, a whole note.
Like that one.
4 beats. But you have to have the 4 beats somehow, but you don't have to have 4 notes necessarily. You could even have a full rest, which would be 0 notes, but still 4 beats. The bottom number tells you which kind of note gets 1 beat. That's a little harder to understand for most people, and don't feel too bad if you don't actually understand right now. I just need you to be able to say the answer at least, and you'll kind of understand as you go along. If the bottom number is a 4, you can kind of think of it like remove the top number, no matter what the top number is, just ignore it for a second, and pretend there's a 1 on top, and if you think 1, 4, 1/4, another word for 1/4 is quarter. Right? And so that's how we know if a 4 is on the bottom, the quarter note gets 1 beat. Because the quarter note takes up 1/4 of the available beats in the measure. We have 4 beats available, the quarter note takes up 1/4 of those beats. So that's how we know if you see a quarter note, that note's going to get 1 beat. Now I'll just tell you this right now, but you're not going to encounter this for quite a while. But if an 8 was on the bottom, for example, you could think 1/8, which means the 8th note gets 1 beat in that case. So if you had a 4 on top and an 8 on the bottom, that would mean you'd have 4 beats in every measure, and the 8th note would get 1 beat. You would not encounter that time signature ever really. It's usually 6/8.
Okay.
But does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Yes. And so let me just ask you questions about what I just told you to see if you can answer or not. It's okay either way. But so what is that dill called at the beginning of the song that we just talked about?
The time signature?
Time signature. And what's the name of this time signature? Did I say that?
I don't think so.
4/4 time signature.
Okay. So it's 4/4.
And sometimes people just say 4/4 time instead of 4/4 time signature. Oh, and sometimes you'll just see a C. That means common time because 4/4 time signature is the most commonly used time signature. And so if you see 4/4 time signature at the beginning of the song, how many beats are going to be in every measure?
4.
How do you know?
Because that's what it says.
Where? Where though with words? Can you describe where?
It says it on the left side at the beginning of the...
Which number tells you that 4 beats are going to be in every measure? The top number or the bottom number?
The bottom number.
Top number.
Top number.
Top number tells you how many
top
beats
number.
are in every measure.
Okay.
And then which kind of note is going to get 1 beat in 4/4 time?
A quarter.
And how do you know the quarter note gets 1 beat?
Because it's 1/4, which is a quarter.
Well, the way you know is because the bottom number is a 4.
4.
And when I ask, how do you know that there are 4 beats in a measure, you can say, because the top number is a 4.
Okay.
That's how you know how many beats are in every measure. And the bottom number tells you which kind of note gets 1 beat.
Okay.
And the only other and because we now have time signatures, you can, instead of counting 1, 1, 1 or 1, 1, 1, 2, now you'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, every measure. And even if you have a rest, you'll still keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4 because the rest will get a certain amount of beats, and you'll say whatever number you're on for that measure. Does that make sense?
Yes. So if it's like 1, 2, rest,
but you won't say rest. You'll say 1,
Right.
2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And so you'll always say those 4 numbers in order without deviating.
Okay.
Then here in Dakota Melody, let's see if I can, actually I guess I can just flip the camera, that'll be easier. We have here these notes that have no letter names in them suddenly. So that's because those notes are repeated notes. And they're going to leave the letter name off until you have a new note to play. So don't go home and fill in the blank because they want you to start they're taking away the safety net a little bit. And so like here, for example, how would you count this measure out loud?
That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, perfect. I gave you a hard one too and you got it right. Good job. Okay, and this one you can see again, there's some repeated notes. You can tell because the note heads are right in line with each other. And next unit, when you get to be on the staff, you'll see these would be on the same line or space.
Okay.
So they're trying to get your eyes used to recognizing the position of the note head to tell you what to play, as opposed to seeing a letter name, because you're not going to get to have letter names except for this unit, and that's it.
Okay.
And so here where they have these X's, they want you to gently knock on the fall board. With your right hand, you can tell because you have the right up stems.
So that one would be G. Rest.
And then you have 1 beat of silence to get your hand back in place before you play the next note.
Okay.
And this is the last song in the lessons book for the unit. And the only tricky thing is here you have a repeat sign. And after you do the repeat, you have to go on.
Okay. So
here.
repeat that and then. All right.
And that's all the new stuff for Unit 3. Any questions about any of that?
No. I'm excited. Ready to tackle it.
Yay! Oh, somebody's like, I don't get it. Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of complicated, but you'd have to take, he's 3 units in, so you'd have to take piano lessons probably to figure it out. But that's nice of you to watch. Okay, so hopefully that makes you feel extra